What is going on? Welcome to a brand new week of Evan and Tiki on the Fan for the next 4.5 hours. An incredibly busy show today. The great Joe Beningo will join us at 4 o'clock. The season debut of 25 in 25, where the committee will announce the top most memorable moments in New York sports from the year that was. Why I feel more confident about Mike Tomlin coaching the Giants next year than ever before. We got a lot of football to get to. I was at MetLife Stadium yesterday, Tiki, and I've been a Jet fan since I was like 6. It was the most depressing, down feeling I think I've ever had as a fan for a myriad of reasons. Not only was it non-competitive, not only were there a lot of Dolphin fans there, but it felt hopeless, especially at the quarterback position, especially with Tyrod Taylor throwing a brutal pick, then getting hurt. Here's Brady Cook. It was just an unmitigated depression is the way I would define those 3 hours. Now, the previous night, I literally sat there and watched Ohio State, Indiana, not because I gave a rat's patoot about who was going to win the Big Ten championship.
Nor not that it mattered.
Right, it didn't even matter.
Because they're both right where they need to be.
I watched it to see Fernando Mendoza, and I don't know, Teak, if I'm just being desperate, if I'm just being, someone who is so parched for water, even like room temperature stinky water tastes good. But Fernando Mendoza reeks like the answer. He reeks like the kind of personality and the kind of talent that really can change everything for a franchise that just feels boring and dead right now.
Yeah, so the Jets are they're in the worst position because not only do they not have the quarterback, and I'm talking about this season. Forget what's going to happen next year. We'll get to that in a second. They don't have the quarterback this year. It feels like the offensive coordinator is overmatched. They're playing games against teams that they should at least be competitive against, and they go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and it's 21-0 before you even blink until Isaiah Smith returns a punt back for a touchdown.
Isaiah Williams, he's the best story of the Jets this season.
He really is.
I know.
That's the second one. He had a good kickoff to start the game. And other than Isaiah Williams, what the hell are you watching this team for? So they're in a bad spot because their quarterback stinks, but they also don't feel watchable. They don't. It's one thing. Like the Giants also stink. They're watchable, right? You want to watch their quarterback play. You want to watch some of the defense try to, get their act together. The Jets are not watchable at this point. And so the only thing you can do as a fan is think towards next year. And there's still 4 games left.
I know. And I spent Saturday night, and I was on DVR, and I started from the beginning, and I honestly could not care about the college football playoff. I'm not going to pretend about, Notre Dame didn't make it. I don't care. I care about my football team.
Well,
and
Virginia crapped the bed.
I heard about that, yeah. And then Duke wins, but they're not in the playoffs. I don't know. And James Madison's
in the ACC. Go home.
Yeah, I don't get any of it. But what I get is who's going to be on my team next year. And here are the things about Fernando Mendoza. And again, maybe I'm just desperate. Maybe this is where this comes from. He's got the size. He's got the athleticism. He's got really good accuracy, has good touch. He's smart. He made the plays when he needed to in that game against Ohio State. And so I think from a physicality standpoint, I think he's got the tools to be a really good quarterback in this league.
Right.
I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he needs to be Patrick Mahomes, but he has the skill set on the next level to be a really good quarterback.
Of course. He's got all the skill sets. You got the arm talent, size, acumen, smarts, etc. What worries you then?
Nothing worries me. I'll tell you what excites me, that personality. Because I think the other challenge that you face when coming to the Jets, not just New York, the Jets, is you almost need to be different.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be a really good, solid prospect. Like you've got to be so different. And I listen to him in his postgame. He's like me on steroids. He's a geek.
Or he's quirky.
He's quirky.
And he's geeky. And
I think that's what we need.
But he also, when he gets excited, that's what makes me laugh. Because it's almost like he's trying to be cool, but you feel the geek coming out in him. But it's cool because it's real. It's organic to him. It's not like he's faking it in any capacity at all. He's just being who he is. He thinks what he's doing is cool. And sometimes I guess it is because he's good, but other times you just want to laugh at him. But I think that's not a bad thing as long as it's organic.
That may be what we need. I mean, you think about all the different quarterbacks that have walked through that door and tried to be the savior. Mark Sanchez was the coolest guy in the world. He really was.
Yeah,
he was suave.
Definitely.
He was Mark Sanchez. He was good looking. He was going to get all the babes. He's this, he's that. You know, Sam Darnold was the ultra talent, right? The Southern California guy, or at least he appeared that way, going to USC. And then you got Zach Wilson, who's the nice, good Mormon kid from Utah. And then you've got Fernando Mendoza, who I've heard a lot of comps on Fernando Mendoza, and probably my favorite one was from Will Compton, who hosts that podcast, Bussin' with the Boys, in which I think he said he is a Kirk Cousins on crack. I think is what he called it.
So what does that even mean? Kirk Cousins on crack?
I think it means that he's geeky, he's smart, he's passionate, and it's all to an 11. If you didn't hear, because I spent my Saturday night and even Sunday like breaking down Fernando Mendoza speaking, because jokes aside, that's a big part of quarterbacking in this town.
Yeah.
Answering the questions, talking to the media, talking to the fans. Of course it's about performance. We all know that. But it's about dealing with everything else. Here's Fernando Mendoza, if you haven't seen it, after beating the Buckeyes in the Big Ten championship. And tell me with a straight face you're not falling in love with this dweeb.
Oh, congratulations, Indiana, the Big Ten champs. How does that sound?
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God. We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go!
You guys call yourself a bunch of misfits who found the right home at Indiana. Why was this the right place for this group?
It's the right place for process-oriented. We're going day by day. Whether it's the offensive line, the defense, the coaches, special teams, we're all process-oriented to one goal. That's our thing, is we're brothers. We can drag teams into the deep end because we know that we're going to stick together and we're the strongest glue ever.
Tell me about finding Charlie Becker, third down, 2 minutes to go. We talk about Heisman moments, but take me through that one.
Man, what an incredible Charlie's been. But he's been every single day in summer. We were always thrilled before practice, before at 7 a.m. on Sundays, doing spots, doing routes, and now you see it to come to fruition. He's my roommate. Couldn't be happy for such a young man as well as our defense playing lights out. And well, everybody just what an incredible moment.
Congratulations, enjoy it.
Thank you so much. God bless. Go Hoosiers.
We're the flipping champions.
Nerd alert! I felt like there was a Harold Dean moment coming. I was just waiting for that.
Do you like it, though?
It's just funny. It's entertaining, and it's real. I'm sure as his teammates, you're probably laughing at him at the same time as picking him up and carry him to the bar afterwards, even though he probably doesn't drink. But whatever. He just feels like he's authentic.
Well, it's
real. He's not faking that.
What I was so curious about was, at least for me, maybe some others, maybe some draft nicks or college football fans knew about him a year ago when he was playing at, where was he at, Stanford, California? He was at Cal, right? He was at Cal's where he played. You guys don't even know.
I have no idea.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I know he got accepted to Yale first. I forgot where he played.
These guys don't even know, the college football fans. So he's playing for Cal last year, and I was curious, was he the same personality?
Yeah, he was Cal, by the way.
Okay. Like, what is this new? Is this shtick? Like, I don't know him well enough.
He had a better season. No, not really. Yards-wise, not touchdowns-wise.
Well, he led Cal to a big victory over Stanford, and they're big rivals. And so I found his interview after that game.
Oh, really?
Just to compare Mendoza from a year ago to Mendoza from now and see if he's genuinely the same guy. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Fernando Mendoza from a year ago. This is when he quarterbacked Cal to a big victory over Stanford.
Hey, first of all, I want to give all the glory to God. That was an amazing comeback. It's a testament how tough we are as a team. I love my boys. It's amazing. I'm so proud of every team. We're 6-6. We're bold bound, and we retain the axe. Go Bears forever. Let's go.
You are so emotional right now, Fernando, in this moment. What's bringing out these emotions for you?
We worked so hard. We worked so hard for this. I apologize for getting emotional, but it's so hard. As an offense, we've done everything that we possibly could have throughout the summer. To being down, having a close game. This has to be the most special moment in my life today.
Look around at these fans in this moment. What will you remember most from this victory today?
I remember going 98 yards with my boys. 98 yards at that moment. We told him, this is why we did the camping trip. This is why we did every Saturday walkthrough. This is why we stayed late until 9 p.m. watching film together. And so that meant so much to me to go 98 yards against a defense that's been playing great. And we ended up scoring in the clutch.
I love this guy. I don't know how you don't love this guy.
I love him. It feels like it's the same thing.
But doesn't that make him genuine?
It is genuine, but kind of odd he's that excited about going 6-6.
Well, that's what excites me, because as I'm listening to this, and as I was listening to it over the weekend, and as I was sitting there for 3 hours on a cold day at MetLife Stadium watching Brady Cook miss open receivers, I thought about that man turning the Jets into a competitive team, and his post-game interview after beating the Dolphins to improve our record to 5-7, and him go, 5-7, this is the greatest feeling. I love these guys. Garrett Wilson, me and him hugged last night. He's my boy. Like, I can almost picture it, and in a weird way, if the Jets are going to finally find their franchise quarterback, maybe that's the personality that they need. An over-the-top.
All right, so here's the question. Is that working in New York?
I think so.
Is that being accepted in New York?
Yes.
Everybody in New York has to present as cool, right? Calm, collected, like fully aware of the moment. That's what New York craves. And I think from a fan base standpoint, from a just who we look up to standpoint, it would be so outside of what New York has typically accepted as stars.
I will give you an example right now to prove you how wrong you are.
Go ahead.
And it's perfect timing on this Monday, December 8th, the first full day of the winter meetings. Wouldn't you think Pete Alonso is sort of similar? Doesn't Pete Alonso have that same doofiness factor?
Not that Mendoza. Not that excited doofiness factor.
Not on the same level?
Not on the excitement level. Even though we don't hear him when he's, humping the railing or doing those other things, but he's probably very similar. But I don't know. Pete Alonso doesn't feel like he's not a nerd. Fernando Mendoza is like genius.
Yeah, which by the way,
certified, like he's truly a genius.
And how great is that, especially when you are learning the toughest position in the toughest league in all of sports.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a work ethic to be great in this league. You know that as well as anybody.
Of course.
And so I think the challenge of quarterbacking the New York Jets, and so many people have been called upon over the last few decades. I've went through some of the names. Some of them had levels of success. Some didn't. He does feel so unique and so different, and yet so perfect.
Yeah.
Like on a lot of levels. I mean, think about Indiana as a program. He turned the Indiana Hoosiers into a legitimate national championship contender. If I asked you 5 years ago, what has a better chance of happening, the Jets turning into a perennial playoff contender or the Hoosiers competing for a national championship in college football, wouldn't you guys actually say the Jets?
No, definitely.
Yes.
Right. And and especially because when you look at Fernando Mendoza, you're not going to get blown away by his, completion percentage, stats. It's not overly impressive, but he just wins.
Well, and
there's something to that.
That's the thing that jumps out at me. Like, I know the fantasy is to draft a quarterback and have that guy be top 3 or top 5. I'm not telling you Mendoza even projects to be that. I think he projects to be really good. Mm-hmm. And you know what?
Yeah, he's not Pat Mahomes, who came in with a handful of 500-yard games in college.
Right.
And just had this skill level that was stupid, where he could take over a game and exercise his will on the opponent. That's not Fernando Mendoza. But there is a leadership about him, and there's a winning quotient about him that is appealing. Like, it's something you have to explore, even though it feels like, man, I don't know if that'll work in New York.
Well, first of all, why do you say that?
Just because it's odd. It's not typical New York. Think about the New York Star. Who has been the nerdy New York Star? I'm being honest. Like, who has it? Who's? Tell me one.
Damn it, I got to think about that.
Tiki Barber.
Right. But you didn't know that. You didn't know that until you knew me.
I mean, Eli Manning isn't the coolest guy in the world.
But he didn't exude it like that.
Yeah.
Outspoken nerdiness is different than internal nerdiness.
Yes, I was an internal nerd.
Right.
Nobody knew I was a nerd, but I absolutely was.
I think in a weird way, because the Jets are so depressing, and that's really the word I would describe to really kind of explain the New York Jets' status right now in 2025. They're a depressing franchise.
Yeah.
The building is empty. They're lifeless. They got blown out yesterday. It's just they're boring, dull, and depressing.
The New York Jets suck.
And he does feel so unique and so different. And that, to me, is what makes him so perfect. And we have to have eyes wide open. I'm not suggesting he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm not suggesting he's going to be the best quarterback in the world. But if you can be a solid top 10 quarterback in this league who wins games, who brings the Jets back to relevance, and shows you that real emotion. Because that sounded real to me, man.
Yeah.
That didn't sound fake. That didn't sound pretend.
It was definitely real. It just it wasn't cool.
But you know what was cool in that game? And this is another thing that needs to kind of put a peg in how good Fernando Mendoza is. Anybody who watched that game from the beginning, Fernando Mendoza took one of the most vicious hits we saw all weekend on the football field. Left for a play. Oh, by the way, his backup quarterback's his brother, so that wasn't confusing at all when he comes in with Mendoza. And he came right back in after one play when everybody thought he was done for the game.
Right.
Isn't there something to do with toughness on the field like that?
I don't think there's any question that he has toughness. He has smarts. He has really good physical traits.
Yep.
He works his ass off. Like, he's helped turn, I don't want to say it's all on him, he's helped turn a program that was never known for college football into a school that could legitimately win a national championship.
Right.
Like, on a lot
They're probably going to be the favorite.
Yeah. On a lot of levels, isn't he everything we've been waiting for as Jet fans? Like, what have we been waiting for?
Right.
I mean, it's not
or something different. Not the typical, not the Mark Sanchez of the world who fits the role and is the perfect, SC quarterback. You're looking for, I don't know, something uniquely Jets, and this could be that. Now the question is, do Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji and even Tanner Engstrand, if he keeps his job as the offensive coordinator, do they look at Fernando Mendoza and say this fits our ideal of what we want our quarterback to look like?
Right.
That's what we don't know.
No,
because I'm trying to think of Aaron Glenn. I mean, think about how Aaron Glenn talks.
Aaron Glenn is cool, by the way.
Yeah, how
say
he
what you want about him.
Presents
right.
and carries himself, and now throw Fernando Mendoza as his quarterback. Does that work? I don't know, but it has to in order for it to be a good marriage between quarterback and head coach.
I fell in love. That's how I felt Saturday night. And then I was even more in love Sunday when I watched the garbage that I watched for 3 hours. He feels like the answer. But Jet fans, I've got bad news for you. We'll get your calls in a minute, 888-808-1019. But what if I told you that Fernando Mendoza was so impressive on Saturday night, a prominent Giants legend now wants to trade Jackson Dart and draft Fernando Mendoza?
Stop.
We'll get to who that person is and if they're right for feeling that way. Plus, Jet fans, do you agree? Is he the guy that could turn this woebegone franchise around? 888-808-1019. We are live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. I am wearing an L because I either predicted or reported, however you want to take it, that Edwin Diaz would be a Met on Friday. I was wrong. I'm owning up to it. I'm wearing an L until Edwin Diaz signs.